Hello, tutor. This is the final exam. I'm going to narrate the three steps you asked for. So I hope you enjoyed the short story in the first point and my answers of the second and third step. So here I go. The name of my story is Does Shushu Fleet Goes to Mars? There was a woman who really enjoyed reading books, watching documentaries and investigating everything about the world. She had been studying at the university for 3 years a PhD in cosmology. She was part of a research team about Mars colonization. She worked with her co-workers day and night, and with them she was looking for government support for carrying out an experimental trip. They knocked a lot of doors, they had to make many presentations, and they had to hold several negative answers. She was near to give up when one day at night she received a letter from the NASA. "Oh my God!" she exclaimed. "This is what I was waiting for. I hope it has good news because if it doesn't, I don't know what else to do." She took the envelope in her hands and decided to open it immediately. She sat down on her bed and this is what she read. "Miss Shushu, it is an honor for this organization, NASA, to inform about the decision we made with respect to the Mars colonization proposal. We were analyzing deeper the data you sent us, and we are prepared to invest in your project. We consider it can be a huge human advance in terms of life preservation. Of course, everything will be funded by the government and our private shareholders. The only one requirement, as you should imagine, is that you, as the head of this team, investigation has to leader the exploratory trip. But before an answer, keep in mind, this is an experimental journey which can imply many factors. For instance, never return to Earth and even the death. These are the main issues to consider. Nevertheless, what we can guarantee is that your family, your group, and your name will be not only part of the history of America, but of the whole world. Keep in mind that especially your family will receive a lifetime remuneration. We know it is not a simple decision, so we will be waiting for your decision in the following 30 days. After reading this, a river of emotion involved the room. The young woman still sat on the bed, began to smile and cry for happiness. Her eyes were lighting all the room, but after some seconds she started to realize the magnitude of the project, the NASA answer, and all changes that will possibly happen. Then just silence and thoughts filled the room, while she reviewed again and again the same written letter with a dangerous treasure to accept. Step 2. Here are the answers about the song. The first question is, do you think the song is mainly optimistic or mainly pessimistic? Justify your answer. Well, I think apparently at the beginning of the song the girl seems to be pessimistic because she is in love with a man who doesn't feel the same for her. This is noticed in the first two paragraphs of the song that she was hurt by this man, but she still loves him. Then, I consider the song turns optimistic because she states that she can overcome this frustrated love. It is mentioned at three specific phrases in the song, with time, keeping her mind busy, and finally thinking in her life she will overcome him. Question number 2. What was the true problem according to the song? In my view, the true problem was that the woman was in love with a man who doesn't love her as much as she does, and she was hurt by him because, as she said in the song, this man swept away with her. Maybe it is not literal, but I consider that he could have betrayed her with another woman. Now I will present the final step about two cases. First one. Why won't he introduce me to his family? My boyfriend and I are 21 and had been going out for a year. We live in a big city where there are people from many different races and cultures. He comes from a culture that is much more religious and traditional than mine. This is not a problem for me or my family. They have always welcomed him into our home. However, he refuses to introduce me to his family, and when his brother, who I know, is around, he pretends we are just friends. Apart from this, we love each other very much. Should I insist that he introduce me to his family? Case number 2. Can we leave my mother? I am 44 years old and have looked after my elderly mother for a number of years. She has a few small health problems and is rather lonely since my father died. Recently, my husband is desperately keen to go, and both of our children will enjoy the experience. But I know that my mother will not consider moving to the USA, and I'm terribly worried about her coping on her own. As she has no other relatives nearby, should I persuade my husband to refuse the job offer? What do you think is the best solution for each situation? The answer to case 1 is the following. I consider in her position I will continue insisting in meeting his family because it is not normal that your boyfriend or girlfriend pretends you are not going out with him or her. Or I think another possible solution is to ask to your couple about the reason he or she does not want to turn the relation formal with their respective families. And the answer to the second case is, in my view, it can be a little bit complicated to find an easy solution since you are divided into two parts. The woman who gives and guides you for a long time in your life and your role as a wife and mainly as a mother. But anyway, I believe the most logical solution to this situation will be to look for someone you trust on to take care of your mother. Try to be in constant contact with her, not only by mobile but also visiting her. I do not give up about continuing helping her to understand that she will always have the option of going to live with you, or if she prefers in a nearer place. In other words, I think she has to continue with her husband and kids, but without forgetting her mother's benefits. Are you good at making decisions or not? If you find it hard to make a decision, what do you usually do? Justify your answer. Yes, I am. I consider I am good at making decisions, especially when it is about other people's situations, since it is easier to evaluate all the factors that interfere with the context. Anyway, when the decision is directly related to my life, I try to be in a calm way and maybe give the time to organize the ideas, analyze the variables, look for different possible points of view, balance the pros and cons, look for a neutral person who can give a different perspective of the situation, and then select the decision I consider is the best and wait for the consequences. Of course, always waiting for the best results. Okay, tutor, that's all. Thank you so much.